And as we've been hearing, Pope Francis has called for a worldwide synod. And joining me now is Father Michael Pierz. He's the chair of the Diocesan Synod team. Welcome, Father Pierz.
Thank you, Sharon. So good to be with you, and thank you for the invitation to speak on it.
Well, it's great to have you, and I know this is a big process,
yes.
A big undertaking for the whole world, and right now it's starting in our diocese with the diocesan portion. What can you tell us about what's been going on so far?
Well, thank you so much for asking, Sharon, because the last time you and I met, I remember we were saying how quick and short the time frame was. So when we just opened the inauguration of the Synod, it happened in October, and there was a portion of preparation that needed to be done to assess how can we best approach this action, this worldwide action here in our diocese of Springfield, here in Western Massachusetts. And I think that experience of discerning and assessing how we can make this a fruitful experience was shared all across the dioceses of the world, because the process has actually been extended at the diocesan level, not just until March, but until June. So we are fortunate that we will be able to have what are called diocesan consultations over the course of the months of February, March, and even into April, that allow for a greater dialogue and encounter.
So what are you asking of people? You're getting groups together from all the different parishes into sections, and they're meeting, and what are you asking people to talk about?
Sure. So Synod, as Pope Francis has reminded us, it comes from the Greek expression about walking together. We're called to walk together. And so Pope Francis has invited us, together with Bishop Byrne here in Western Massachusetts, to come together with these opportunities for encounter and to share what our experience of the Church is, what our experience of the Holy Spirit is. As Pope Francis calls it, it's an exercise in mutual listening to the Holy Spirit. And so our diocesan synodal team has ascertained that there are two ways of approaching this. We can do so with what we call formal diocesan consultations, which are group meetings which can be held in our parish centers, which can be held in our senior centers, can be held in different places throughout the diocese, whether they be Catholic settings or non-Catholic settings, where people gather and would be willing to have a dialogue, have a conversation. And that dialogue would be prompted by the questions: what would you tell Pope Francis? What would you tell Bishop Byrne? And that's really it. Wanting to be able to come together and share a few words about what we have to say about the Church and what we could say to Pope Francis and Bishop Byrne here in Springfield. We also have what are called informal diocesan consultations. And informal diocesan consultations are other opportunities where people may not want to come to a formal setting, like a parish center or some other place. Maybe they haven't had the best experiences and they're a little bit further away from the Church in this time in their lives. And informal diocesan consultations would be inviting people to share their words however they feel comfortable. Sending an email to synod@diospringfield.org, filling out a questionnaire or form on our diocesan website, diospringfield.org, or reaching out in whatever way they feel comfortable to share the news. Everyone is welcome. All are invited to share their thoughts.
Now, this seems like a really great opportunity for folks who have been, maybe they've fallen away from the Church, or maybe they're even very active in the Church, but anyone can say whatever they want.
That's right.
And they shouldn't hold anything back, right?
They shouldn't hold anything back. We're asking that they consider we're asking that they consider what is it that they would will for the good of the Church. What is it that they would will for our communities here in Western Massachusetts specifically? But what would they tell Pope Francis? What would they tell Bishop Byrne about their own experience? And how can we, as Bishop Byrne invites us to consider, how can we get back to better?
So it's your time. It's everyone's time to speak up and be heard.
Yes.
And tell exactly what's on their mind and what they love about the Church and what they think might be something that might be done better, or right? To consider
it not just from the mind, not just from memory, whether that's good memory or bad memory, whether it's from past hurts, but to consider it also from the heart. What is it that the Holy Spirit is placing on our heart to share, to speak, to to invite. And that's a challenge. All people are welcome. And so we are looking forward to having those conversations already at the family level. Don't be afraid to ask at the dinner table, well, what would you tell Pope Francis? What would you tell Bishop Burton? And then offer those words, whether it's at a parish setting in these formal consultations or by sending an email, synod@dallasspringfield.org, or whatever way you can share that news. We're willing and eager to hear it. And just recently I had a great meeting with a wonderful gathering of members of our diocese from near and far as Lee and Ware and everything in between, sharing on the efforts that we can do together here in Western Mass.
All right, well, thank you so much, Father Pierz, and we look forward to hearing everything that comes out of this committee, and then also going on with the worldwide synod as well.